What's up, y'all? My name is Eddie. Welcome to Freestyle Reviews. This is the first episode of Freestyle Reviews, where we're trying to put the spotlight on independent artists. And today, I'm going to start with my brother, VRN Hayes. Very dope MC out of Los Angeles.
Black like the strap in my boxers, much needed protection for attack on my chakras. King among coons, my position never awkward. Crabs in the barrel, Willie Ninja never stopped us. Kept a 38 before I knew just what a Glock was. I was in the hood getting started like a spark plug. I was blind, yeah, I knew just what the dark was. Now it's time to eat, so I'm doing what the shark does. Surviving in them deep waters, apex, big fish, yeah, I eat problems. So connected, he can never get the stench off him. 12 scared to take the
VRN, as I said, he's from Los Angeles, reps it fully in his rhymes, but definitely has influence that you can hear from all over. You know what I mean? From East Coast, definitely the West Coast. VRN as an MC, I would say he's very raw and introspective. You know what I mean? He's gonna give it to you like it is. Speaks a lot about himself. He's not afraid to give you his life in his rhyme. But at the same time, the man can spit. You know, he's from LA. As I said about his influences, you know, you can tell he studied some serious MCs. He is bringing the bars, and Serene is no exception as far as that goes. So the album Serene, released in 2020, a 10-track project, independently released on VRN's own 3-out label. This album touches on a lot of social and political themes, as well as personal stories and observations from VRN himself. So it is very much a current album. So everything that's been going on in 2020, socially, politically, everything crazy in between, you're gonna get that on this record.
I sort of feel like H-Rap Brown, huh? What's that sound? Ground start to shake, all that marching going down, all these bodies in the streets, now these crackers talking peace. But if we ever get the upper hand, you know that hourglass will lose a sand.
What I love about Serene is that it's a very cohesive album. And usually when you think of cohesive albums, you think of one MC, one producer. This album is not that. However, going from track to track and hearing how cohesive it sounds, not just with the subject matter, but with the production, with the kind of beats that VRN picked from the producers that worked on this project, it sounds like it could have been a one producer album. It's keeping the same kind of vibes, the same kind of energy, although he does mix it up a little bit. But the result, as I said, is a very cohesive project.
Started at the bottom, had to learn how to climb mountains. Here niggas swiping EBT cards, but they still down.
So my favorite tracks on Serene, the intro and outro to me are perfect. The way it sets off this album and the way it closes. So starting with the intro, Pull Up One Time. VRN, he gets into a story about a personal situation, him driving, getting pulled over by the cops.
Look up, see the police out there trailing in the rear view to serve and protect, but most likely they gonna kill you. License and insurance on my lap before they pull up on me. Grab that registration real quick before they pull up on me. I'm a little nervous and I hope I'm not swerving. Gun under the front seat. And now I'm pulling over, guns all out they holster. How they pull up on me. One time. All it takes is one time.
If you've been paying attention to what's been going on in 2020, you already know why this is a crazy story. Being pulled over by the cops in Los Angeles, and VRN as a black man. So he really gives his perspective about it in a very raw way. So as I said about the first track and the last track bookending the album really dopely, so I already touched on the first track, Pull Up One Time. Now, the ending track, LOWO, which stands for Look Out, Watch Out. Very dope track. It has a very dope Lauryn Hill sample on there that just goes with it very perfectly.
While we waiting on the world to change, going through some growing pains. Guess I'll turn my hunger to the Hunger Games. Guess I'll turn my hunger to the Hunger Games. Come on, guess I'll turn my hunger to the Hunger Games. Rep my district, moving like snow for presidential ditches. Them slavers was Christians, you ought to be conflicted. That brother was jogging, them motherfuckers killed him. Y'all praising the stimulus, suckers for the system.
And it's really a track that wraps up, sums up the album, but also sums up the whole year. And it's very much a call to action. So that's a very dope track right there. Anything Serene is a track where Burn is really talking about surviving. Has a very dope sample that you all will recognize.
Anything Serene.
When all I ever wanted was some money in my pocket. Ripped up down the goings and I thought he was a prophet. They took my nigga bias on the corner by the market. He didn't even bang, everybody is a target. When you in LA, everybody is a monster. Anything for play, happy days become your darkest. Mama's only son, so it's hit him off the hardest. But these niggas young, gotta go through it regardless. Gotta jump the hurdles, stop the gas to get the charges. So let them fuck the progress, you caught up in the process. How you being processed? And all I ever wanted was some money.
Anything Serene, just with that hook, you could tell, you know, there's some disillusion there, you know what I mean? You know, we doing what we can, we doing what we must to survive, but ain't a thing Serene. So next is Sand, which might be my favorite track in the album. That beat on that song, it's just such a vibe, but it's really in contrast to the content of the lyrics.
Little niggas sitting on the front porch, mama in the kitchen cooking chicken, smoking Newports. Tuesday night, usually me, we running from the task force. Hit my granny crib and tore it up without a search warrant. I used to read that Bobby Seale and UEP. Same time, slanging poison, call it BBD. My uncle was the one to get a gun to me. This make us equal, but you never free. Now if we ever get the upper hand, you know that hourglass been losing sand. If we ever get the upper hand, you know that hourglass been losing sand.
Bird is speaking on deep subject matter. So we got police violence, racism, generally the plight of black men in America. So very dope track, one of my favorites for sure. So Effin' Up, very dope track. Also featuring Jade Rabbit, who lent her vocals to a very, very dope soulful hook.
In the mirror, see the hero in the villain. I see my daughter find ambition in that vision. I done failed, I was homeless with evictions. That was last year. I don't have to lie about the premise. Now I'm back here, now trying to change the story with revisions. Cataracts clear. Now we only hustle with precision. What we have here, one stubborn bastard on a mission. That was last year. Now it's no subtraction, all addition. Look, just lost my auntie Cheryl and it broke my heart. Gotta make sure Tay don't fall apart. Now my mind's on this money like I'm Marty Bird from Ozark. But this is real, this ain't no show, y'all.
So this track is Burn, very introspective and revealing. He's admitting to his F-ups. Basically, something that, you know, a lot of men don't do, period, let alone on a track that you're putting out for the world to hear. Burn, this is the reason why VRN Hayes is one of my favorite independent MCs. He is very relatable, you know what I mean? As I said earlier, he gives it to you raw, you know, he doesn't pull the punches, you know, he is who he is, but it made him a better, doper MC for that. Overall, Serene is a very dope album. As I said, one of my favorite independent hip-hop releases of 2020. Definitely up there. Honestly, one of my favorite hip-hop releases of New York, you know what I'm saying, representing, but I'm living in LA. This is a perfect album to just throw on, you know, when you're cruising, you know, the 101 or 405, wherever you're going. It's not limited to LA, you know what I mean? But this definitely passes the car test. Extremely dope project. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate it. Definitely come up with more content, more reviews, some interviews, and some other things that are in the works.